Let's begin with the reality that most people don't want to face. She already knows. She knows how you feel about her. She knows you're interested, that you care, that you're hoping she'll message you back. And despite knowing all of this, she still chooses not to reply. That silence isn't accidental. It's intentional. She's not confused. She's not too busy, and she didn't forget to respond. She saw your message. She just didn't care enough to answer. That hurts, doesn't it? But it's a truth you need to accept if you ever want to move forward. When someone truly wants to be in your life, it doesn't feel like this. You don't have to chase them. You don't have to overthink every word you send. You don't sit there questioning your worth, wondering what you could have said or done differently. When someone wants to talk to you, they make it obvious. They don't leave you guessing. They don't leave your messages unread. And they definitely don't leave you hanging for days hoping for a reply that never comes. The harsh reality is that people make time for what matters to them. And if she isn't making time for you, she doesn't see you as a priority. That's not something you fix with another message. You don't change that by explaining how you feel or asking her what went wrong. All of that just reinforces the fact that she holds the power in this dynamic. And the more power she feels, the less likely she is to respect you. So stop looking for reasons to justify her silence. Stop making excuses for her behavior. The moment you stop waiting for a reply, that isn't coming is the moment you begin to take back your self-respect. That silence is not empty. It's her answer. Accept it. Most guys don't realize the damage they do by sending that one extra text. They think they're being thoughtful, consistent, or romantic, when in reality they're just reinforcing the very reason she lost interest in the first place. Every time you hit send, hoping this will be the message that finally gets her to respond, you're actually pushing her further away. You're not reminding her of how much you care. You're reminding her that she can ignore you and still hold your attention. That's not attractive. That's not intriguing. That's just sad. It's human nature to place less value on what comes too easily. And when you're constantly available, constantly texting, constantly chasing, you remove all the mystery. You make yourself predictable and unfortunately disposable. She doesn't feel the need to reply because she knows you'll be right there waiting, no matter what she does. And deep down, she also knows that she can come back at any time and you'll respond instantly. That knowledge kills any spark. That might have been there. The more you try to fix the silence with words, the more desperate you look. You think maybe if you say the right thing, make her laugh, or show more vulnerability, she'll suddenly care. But she won't. Because it's not about what you say. It's about how she feels. And right now she feels indifferent. That's why your messages go unanswered. So every time you send another text hoping to spark something, remember that it's doing the opposite. You're not drawing her closer. You're confirming that you're always there, that she doesn't need to try, that she holds all the control. If she was going to reply, she would have. Nothing you say now will change that. The only thing you can control is whether or not you finally stop. You've been operating under the wrong assumption this whole time. You believe that if you kept showing up, kept reaching out, kept proving how much you care, eventually she would see your worth. You thought consistency was the key, and that if you just stayed present long enough, she'd realize what she's missing and come back around. But that's not how attraction works. It's not built through constant availability or endless effort. In fact, it often fades when someone becomes too predictable, too present, too easy to figure out. And right now, she doesn't wonder about you at all. She knows exactly what you'll do. She knows that if she wanted your attention, she wouldn't have to earn it. All she has to do is send a single message and you'll come running. And that predictability kills mystery. And without mystery, there's no excitement. You've made yourself too accessible, too obvious, too safe, and unfortunately too boring. That's why it's time to flip the script. Instead of being the guy who always shows up, become the guy who disappears. Stop reacting. Stop chasing. Stop giving her your time when she's done nothing to deserve it. When you go silent, something shifts. You change the dynamic. You introduce uncertainty. And with uncertainty comes curiosity. She'll notice your absence. She may not say anything right away, but she'll feel it. That space you create by stepping back will speak louder than any message you could ever send. But here's the most important part. Don't do this to get a reaction from her. Do it to get yourself back. This isn't about manipulation. It's about dignity, about walking away from someone who couldn't see your value. And in that silence, in that distance, you'll rediscover something far more important than her attention: your own self-worth. Think about how much energy you've poured into someone who barely acknowledges your existence. The countless hours spent analyzing her last message, checking her social media, staring at your phone hoping for a reply that never comes. The emotional weight of constantly questioning your value just because one person won't respond. All that time, all that focus, it wasn't just wasted, it was stolen from you. And what did you get in return? Silence, indifference, disrespect. The truth is, your energy is one of the most valuable things you have. Your thoughts, your focus, your drive, these are the things that shape your life. And yet you've handed all of it over to someone who couldn't even bother to reply. That needs to stop. Because every second you spend thinking about her is a second you could be using to build yourself. Instead of obsessing over why she hasn't texted you back, obsess over your goals. Instead of replaying old conversations, visualize the life you want to live. Hit the gym, start that business, learn something new. Become the man who commands attention, not by chasing it, but by becoming someone worth noticing. And the beauty of this shift is that it changes everything. When you redirect your energy inward, you stop needing validation from anyone else. You stop worrying about who texts back and who doesn't. You're too busy building something real, yourself. And when you become that man, the one who's focused, driven, and completely unbothered, people notice, she'll notice. But by then, it won't even matter, because you'll finally realize that the attention you were begging for was never worth your energy to begin with. Your time, your focus, your effort, they belong to you. And the moment you start protecting them is the moment everything starts to change. This isn't just about her anymore, it's about you. It's about reclaiming your power, your dignity, your sense of self-worth. For too long, you've allowed someone else's indifference to define how you see yourself. You've let her silence eat away at your confidence. You've given her the ability to affect your emotions, your focus, your day-to-day peace. But the truth is, she was never meant to hold that kind of power. You gave it to her. And now, it's time to take it back. Because the real victory isn't in getting her to text you back. It's in not needing that text anymore. It's in getting to a place where you genuinely don't care whether she reaches out or not. That's freedom. That's strength. When you stop chasing, you stop giving her the upper hand. When you go silent, not as a tactic, but as a decision, you send a clear message to yourself and the world. I don't settle for being ignored. I don't beg for attention. I don't need to prove my worth to anyone who can't see it on their own. And here's the irony. The moment you let go, the moment you stop caring, that's when she'll start to feel your absence. That's when the silence you once feared becomes your greatest weapon. But by the time that happens, you'll be so far ahead in your own growth that her response won't matter. You'll have moved on. You'll have built something real, something lasting, yourself. So don't send that message. Don't check your phone again. Don't wait for a response that doesn't come. Walk away and never look back. Not because you're angry, not because you're trying to get even, but because you finally realize that the most powerful thing you can ever do is choose yourself unapologetically and completely.